Am I the asshole for kicking a pregnant woman out of her seat? Okay, so this happened a few hours ago and I've only just calmed down, because I hate conflict. Basically I was doing a long travel day, 5-ish hours, so I booked my train in advance to ensure that I had a reserved seat. When I get on the train a woman is in my seat, so I politely inform her that I think that's my seat, show her my ticket and ask her to move. She checks her ticket and just says, well, I must have sit in the wrong seat, and puts her head down. I say that it's my seat and could I please sit in it. At this point her partner sitting opposite her starts speaking at me in what I perceive to be an aggressive tone. He suggests I find another seat, which there are none because it's busy, and I say but I booked that seat and there are no other available seats in the carriage. He then raises his voice and says, well, someone else is in our seats and that his missus is pregnant. I say I understand and that I have a heart defect, which I do, and said everyone has their own medical issues and reasons standing for long periods of time might be difficult. And here I could be the asshole. I ask him to not speak to me in an aggressive tone, and that I will make a complaint. He then starts swearing at me and I ask him to stop. Eventually the woman gets up and allows me to sit there, and he continues to berate me saying he hopes I feel good for myself and that I'm quiet now I have my seat, when really I just stopped engaging as I felt there was no point. One of the men who was sat beside him offers that him and his partner sit in the seats opposite me. It's a table seat, at which point he sits his partner down and then laughs at me and points in my face. Eventually when the ticket inspector comes around they are asked to move her to their assigned seats and she asks if I'm okay as another passenger had made a complaint on my behalf. Even so, was I the asshole? Should I have just left them alone as she was pregnant? And did I in any way escalate the situation? Edit. As I don't know how able I'll be to respond to all the comments, thank you sincerely to everyone that has engaged with this post. I've learned a lot about myself and my ability to let anxiety and overthinking get in the way of trusting my decisions. I honestly came into writing this thinking that I escalated the situation, so to have people affirm that it's just standing my ground and that is alright has been really gratifying. It has taught me, however, I have a way to go with standing up for myself, and not being such a people pleaser. If I don't get to respond, just know I appreciate your engagement with my post nonetheless, and this has really helped to calm me and give me insight after an incredibly stressful situation. Not the asshole. There's no reason why the husband, as the healthy one, should have stayed in his seat. It's ridiculous that after hearing that you have a heart defect he didn't get out of his seat and give it to his wife, allowing you to take yours. Even if they couldn't sit in their seats, there was no reason for her to have yours. The husband was being a selfish ass. Not the asshole. And if her partner was sitting opposite her, why didn't he just stand up and let her have his seat? Not the asshole. The self-entitlement was strong with this couple, and it reads as though you were as reasonable as you could be. Love the fact they were escorted to their proper seats. Damn, I hate bully behavior. You paid for your seat, that's how the system works. They know they were in the wrong, and were being assholes about it. Clearly he could have given up his seat, or they could have done the radical idea of sitting in their assigned seats. This 1000% had nothing to do with you. You were just the person they wanted to bully to get their way. Don't give them the satisfaction of wasting another thought on their crap behavior. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You should have summoned for assistance as soon as these two refused to cooperate, so they could have been escorted to their proper seats, or kicked off the train. Pregnancy does not excuse poor manners for both expectant mother or baby daddy. You mean kicking a pregnant woman out of your seat? Obviously not the asshole. Don't let some obnoxious bullies get to you. Am I the asshole for making my BF's mom cry because of a petty rule? So me, 21F, and my boyfriend, 24M, have been together for almost 2 years and live together. His mother is very involved in his life, some might say overbearing, but I try to be respectful. She's nice but has this way of pushing boundaries while acting like she means well. So the issue. I have a no shoes in the house rule. My boyfriend is cool with it, all my friends do it no problem. But his mom refuses. She claims it's rude to ask guests to take their shoes off, and that it makes her feel disrespected. I've tried explaining that it's just a cleanliness thing, but she won't budge. Last weekend she came over and, surprise surprise, walked in with her shoes on. I very politely, I swear, said, "Oh, can you take them off please?" She kinda huffs and is like, "You're really gonna make me do this?" And I just stood there waiting. She sighs dramatically, takes them off, and spends the whole visit sulking. Then later I get a text from my BF's dad saying I made her cry and she feels like I'm trying to assert dominance over her in her son's home. Our home, actually. My boyfriend is on my side, but now his parents are acting like I've disrespected the Queen of England. Am I the asshole for standing my ground on a very normal rule? Not the asshole. If your boyfriend is aligned, how's he handling the situation? I'd expect him to call them and shut it down. The dad shouldn't be attacking you and your boyfriend should be standing up for you. It sounds like he agrees, but what's he doing to solve the issue? Not the asshole. She is going out of her way to guilt you into letting her disrespect your home. Buy some of those shoe covers they wear to crime scenes or put plastic grocery bags by the door and ask her to cover her shoes inside the home. Otherwise you can just offer an outside visit and she can keep her shoes on. Ha 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 man, tell her to never come to Canada. Or probably a lot of other countries for that matter. Shoes are for outside. Not the asshole, but your boyfriend needs to stand up to his mom. The only reason she is doing it is because she knows her son won't confront her to her face and have an actual adult conversation one. It's her baby the son too. She don't see him and a man, an adult. 3. She still wants to be mama boy. Google up the psychological effects mama boys have in being mother-dependent relationship. 4. She has no respect for you because you are taking her son away. When in reality your very presence makes his world more meaningful and colorful. He needs to set up and stand firm on boundaries with this mom. If this is her hill to die on, get those little booties that cable guys wear inside a house, tears of joy. In some countries, hosts provide nice wool slippers for guests, both men and women, to change into. I have neuropathy in my feet and really need something on my feet to walk comfortably. Maybe consider buying a pair of Turkish wool slides for her. Am I the asshole for avoiding my mom after she told me to suck it up when I broke my fingers? I was at the gym where a heavy weight fell onto 3 of the fingers on my left hand. I was in such severe pain that I thought I was going to pass out. While sobbing, I called my mom, as I am at college, far away from home. I told her that I thought I broke my finger, and that I wanted to go to urgent care. My mom has never been empathetic for physical injuries and mental health issues. When she heard me, she told me to suck it up and rest. I figured I would wait for a while, who knows, she could be right. Edit. I feel I should mention that my fingers did not look deformed, so other than the bruising and swelling I was unsure if they were broken or not. While waiting, my roommate came home and saw the state that I was in. She took one look at my hand and assured me we had to go to urgent care. I didn't want to betray my mom, because she always said to never go to the or urgent care due to our terrible insurance. However, I went and researched the cost of an out-of-pocket x-ray at the nearest urgent care, and it was only $200, which I was willing to pay. I told my mom this, and she said, "You better hope your fingers are broken or else I'm not helping you pay for anything." So I was under a weird circumstance where I hoped my fingers were broken for the sake of saying, "I told you so," to my mom. I finally went to urgent care and got an x-ray. They confirmed both my pointer and middle fingers were broken, and may need surgery if not healed properly. When I called my mom back later that day and told her the news, she basically laughed and told me I should be glad that they were broken. 3 weeks have gone by, and I have not spoken to her since. She's texted me and asked for updates on my fingers, but I feel conflicted on why she's suddenly acting like she cares when she clearly didn't in the first place. She's also not someone you can easily share your feelings with, so I'm not sure how to go about our next conversation. Should I just ignore it, or try to bring it up with her? Edit. I was not expecting the overflow of, not the asshole, comments, and I have gotten asked about why I believe I am the asshole. I spoke to my brother about it, and he told me that I was overreacting and that she just wants to check up on me, and probably feels bad for diminishing my issues. Not the asshole. You know how your birthgiver is. Don't go to her for medical advice or tell her anything because otherwise you'll allow her to dictate your health. Ask yourself why you think you would betray your mom when getting required medical help. You even called her to get an okay from her for getting x-rays you wanted to pay for yourself. Is your insurance even this bad, or is it another tool from her to control your health now that you are out of reach physically? Not helpful, but my first thought was to send a photo of your middle finger next time she asks for an update on her fingers. Not the asshole, but your mom is. Are you adopted, or why is she so mean? God, this brings me back. I was in school and had an accident on the jungle gym. I was in a lot of pain, so the school office called my dad. He told me, over the phone, that it wasn't that bad and I should go back to class. 8 hours later, I'm at home and my mom walks in. Her what the fuck face while looking at my fucked up arm is burned into my mind. We immediately went to urgent care and I got a cast out on my very broken arm. Apparently I had fractured it and kept fracturing it more over the course of the day because I'm neurodivergent and can't properly feel my body. So yeah, long story short, I don't talk to my father anymore, because that was just the beginning of his cruelty. You are not overreacting, and I'm sure down the line you will realize how very abusive your egg donor is. Gently, it's time to stop calling up your mom hoping this time she will be a loving, kind mom. You could have made your fingers so much worse by delaying going to the hospital. This is why healthcare should be free. Not the asshole. You're too old to be such a good little soldier. Use your common sense and take care of yourself next time. Ignore the uncaring hag. Am I the asshole for finally telling my brother-in-law to leave after he's been mooching office for a year? Am I the asshole for finally telling my brother-in-law to leave after he's been mooching office for a year? He moved in saying he just needed a few months until he was able to save enough money to rent his own place. It's been a year, but he's never once paid for bills, groceries, nothing. He doesn't even do basic chores, but my wife, she's his brother, always tries to cover for him and does his chores for him instead. He leaves dishes in the sink, doesn't take out the trash. Just sits around on his phone when he's at home to play mobile games or goes out on his motorcycle to go on long rides with his buddies. We've been biting our tongues because he's family, but last week was the last straw. He came home late, parked his bike, and didn't lock the gate. As a result of his neglect, our dog of 12 years got out. We searched everywhere and even made Facebook posts, only to find out a few hours later that he got hit by a car just outside our subdivision. We were devastated and I was very furious. But guess who was the one acting pissed off? My Bill, saying it wasn't his fault, and that shit happens, and that he'd just buy us a new dog. Lol, he hasn't even contributed a single cent to our monthly electric or internet bills. I lost it, told him to pack his stuff and get out. My wife thinks I was too harsh, but I honestly don't care anymore. He doesn't respect our home, our rules, or our damn dog. Am I the asshole for not considering my wife's feelings first? A part of me feels that we should have talked about it first, but then I acted on my own out of anger. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not considering my wife's feelings first? Why isn't she considering your feelings? Why does her brother seem to have priority in your home? That's not okay. Not the asshole. He didn't get his act together within 3 months. It's my guess he never planned to until he was forced to. The whole not contributing anything to your household is just such gross, entitled behavior. Good on you for finally taking care of business. I'm so sorry about your dog. Not the asshole. So sorry about your dog. His attitude over that alone justifies kicking him out. He moved in saying he just needed a few months until he was able to save enough money to rent his own place. It's been a year, but he's never once paid for bills, groceries, nothing. He doesn't even do basic chores. I lost it. You weren't too harsh. If anything, you weren't harsh enough. Not the asshole. He can't take responsibility for shit. He's as responsible as the driver for your sweet dog's tragic death. I would have thrown him out right then and there with zero remorse. Buy another dog, WTF. Disgusting. He does not deserve one bit of your kindness and generosity. So sorry for your loss, love letter. Not the asshole. Why is your wife not more upset about the dog? Or his attitude about letting the dog out? You can't just replace a family member like it was nothing. He needed to go before, but there's no coming back from the dog thing now. He could have been contrite and apologetic, but he couldn't even do that. On top of not paying any bills or doing any chores, he can't apologize for inadvertently hurting your dog? Dude has to go. Your wife is and a huge one at that. She is disrespectful to you and your home. Her brother should not be her priority. Her husband should come first, especially in your home. She's nuts. Not the asshole, and if my wife had a brother like that and kept covering for him, we'd been in therapy or divorce. You need to be the priority, not his stupid butt.